title.
He earned his Denny's PBA Tour exemption by finishing 7th at this year's Denny's PBA Tour Trials. And to makes his first career TV Finals appearance from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Chris Collins.
Collins fell behind to the red-hot Mike Machuga, 0-3 in the round of 8. He was able to turn it around and win the next 4 games to make his first show. Today, win or lose, he'll earn the biggest paycheck of his career.
He captured last season's Earl Anthony Medford Classic, and today looks for title number 2 from New Albany, Indiana, Mike Wolfe.
A month before the 2004 Denny's Tour Trials, Mike Wolfe worked 8 hours a day for 9 straight days, revamping his game. The hard work is translated into week-to-week consistency, a tour title in his second show of the season.
He's a 3-time Denny's PBA Tour titleist, making his 3rd TV Finals this season. The 2005 USBC Masters champion from Amarillo, Texas, Mike Scroggins.
At the halfway point of the season, Mike is your frontrunner for Player of the Year. He's looking to win multiple titles for the first time in his career. Will the party of Scroggins ever end?
These are your bowlers competing for the title in the 2005 Empire State Classic.
Sundays are for bowling. Welcome to the final stop of the Denny's PBA Tour in the season's first half. The Capital District of New York, Clifton Park. The PBA Tour here in the Empire State for the 113th time. 7th straight year here in the Albany area. Randy, let's check out the matchups.
Okay, Dave, this is how our 4 finalists got here. You see, Mike Scroggins was your number 1 seed, but this was the big match right here. Chris Collins down 0-3 to Mike Machuga, comes back and wins the next 4 games straight to make his first ever telecast.
For a long time since you've been on TV, how would you best describe the feeling of returning to the show?
Well, it was pretty emotional last night or Friday night. Finally getting there. It's been a lot of work, a lot of years, a lot of help from a lot of people. Words really can't describe how good it felt Friday night to finally get back here again.
Thanks for your time. Yes. Speaking of nervous, first ever TV show today. How do you feel you'll handle the pressure?
I think I'm going to do okay. I think Friday night was about as much pressure as I could handle all week, coming back from 0-3, shooting the big games, you know. But, you know, I'm going to make a conscious effort to stay focused today and just do my best.
Thanks for your time.
You know?
Jack Jurek, Chris Collins ready, set to match up on the Scorpion pattern, 41 feet long.
All 4 guys playing all over the place this week. Jack Jurek doing what he does best, playing nice and straight from out. Mike Wolfe a little bit further in, still parallel to the lane. Chris Collins, however, he played in. High rep guy, he played further in than any of the other right-handers. And then you have Mike Scroggins, who has the entire left side of the lane to himself. Interesting week. The first 24 feet right here, you can see the difference in the color. This right here is synthetic. The back part of the lane is wood. What that translates into is less friction up front, more back end down the lane.
First shot ever. Chris Collins' career on TV is coming up. There's Julie, his wife, and twin brother Chip. And he and Chris were pro-level tennis players together, a doubles team. They're an All-American Division III doubles tandem in North Carolina. Also great bowlers, good golfers. What an athletic family. Collins from North Carolina will tell you that. His first ever shot on TV. Knocks the ball down. Throwing the ball some serious pace, Randy.
Well, he's got some speed, and he's got a lot of hand, too, a lot of revolutions, so he can get away with that high speed. You're going to see Jack Jurek much further right on the lane than Chris Collins.
Eileen and Jerry have made the trip from Buffalo. What a moment this is for Jack Jurek. It's a light double wood for him. The 2-8, his first TV shot since 1998. Unbelievable comeback for this guy.
Not as much hand. Jack's got to go much straighter, and this ball just skids all the way down. Fortunate to only leave the 2-8.
Comes to us from near Buffalo, Lackawanna, New York. Four-out drive from where we are in Albany, and covers the double wood nicely for Mark. Moving on to our first Ace Hardware matchup, Randy, of the day.
And again, it's two guys playing two completely different parts of the lane, so one can't feed off the other. Jack Jurek doing what he does best, going straight from out. And Chris Collins, well, he's got a lot of game. He can play pretty much anywhere on the lane, but this week decided to play in.
Imagine how difficult the road has been for Jack Jurek. His comment after he made the show on Friday, last time I was on TV, I think televisions were black and white. Spin that line. Well, that crosses over a Brooklyn strike as he makes the big adjustment. And it crosses over the head pin, but he'll gladly take it.
Yeah, and his big adjustment was a ball change. He went to the same ball that he used to make the 2-8. This ball hooks when it's halfway down the lane. That's what you don't want. Right now, Jack just trying to catch some wind.
February 7th, 1998. In Austin, Texas, the last time he was on TV. There's Collins, able to get his exemption through the tour trials this past June. Oh, yeah, that's right. And a lot of emotion for Collins early. That's his game. Oh, yeah, that's right. He is emotional. Can that be an advantage on television?
Well, I think what Chris has learned to do, especially this season, is he's learned how to try to control his emotions. He's always been known for a guy that had a real volatile temperament. And when things started to go bad, he'd start to fry and start to explode. Obviously, able to come back from the...
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about! Let's go! Come on now! Yeah! Talk about fired up! Chris Collins.
He said he was able to come back from that 0-3 deficit to Mike Machuga because of the fact that he's really working hard on keeping his emotions intact and really learning how to control his anger.
Jack Jurek qualified 26th. Look who he beat to get here. Rookie of the year, a points leader, a player of the year. Star Ryan Schaefer. He's got a 4-pin to deal with here. Just to finish up Randy's point on Collins, the match that he was talking about, he was down 3-0 to Mike Machuga. Thrilling match. That was the round of 8. Machuga had not lost a match from the round of 32 on. He was 11-0, about to tie your record from the 2002 Pepsi Open in Philly to go 12-0 in match play. He won that tournament. Machuga, of course, did not, and had quite a fired-up reaction to that. Let's check out this week's Dexter approach, Randy.
It's all about old school 5-step Jack Jurek. Even cadence in his footwork. Real square to the foul line. This creates a much straighter shot. Looks a little bit like roommate Tom Baker. But Jack's at his best when he can stay square to the lane and get his ball to hook up into the pocket.
He's not won since 1995. The approach looked good. Best ball rack of the day for him as he blisters the rack, all 10 down for him.
This time he moves in with that same real aggressive bowling ball and finds a home right there in the 1-3. Jack says, okay, finally I can breathe.
Can you imagine that? 10 years, 8 months, 23 days. It's a total of 3,921 days if he wins today between titles.
Wow, that's some math there, Dave.
Jack Jurek, the PBA media relations staff, may have done the addition for us there. We just read it. Thanks for that. Back to Collins. Comes in high, but nearly tripped out the 4 late.
This ball's left of target, and, you know, this could have been a lot worse. When the ball's clean off your hand, swings nice and loose. When you do yip it just a pinch, you leave 4 pins. Easy single pin spare coming up.
Takes care of that. 237.79 average for Collins. That 222.29 against Machuga, who's down 0-3. And what a comeback it was. Mike had been rolling. Chris said he thought he was absolutely done for and somehow got hot in game 4 and rallied all the way. First time all year in match play someone has come back from down 0-3 to win it. 10-pin.
Right now, pretty impressed with what Chris Collins is doing. First time ever on television. He's going to earn his biggest paycheck of his entire bowling career, and he hasn't missed the pocket yet. Ring and 10 there, but still a good shot.
First full year on tour for Chris from Fayetteville, North Carolina. 7th this year in the PBA Tour Trials. There's the 10. Plenty of room, huh? Not so much. But they're gladly taken. Of course, a big story last week in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania was Mike Scroggins missing 2 7-pins. We'll break that down. We get into the Mike versus Mike match. Scroggins and Wolfe, second semifinal here from Albany. Perfect hit, but it'll take all 10 down for sure.
2 different bowling balls. Less aggressive ball in the right lane. You see how much further right he is. Going a little bit straighter there. This ball's lucky to get up to the 1-3, but because of that angle, Jack's able to carry all 10. Now watch this on the left lane, using a much more aggressive bowling ball, more surface, playing about an arrow left of where he's playing on the right lane.
Always interesting between the left and right lane. The adjustment these bowlers have to make. Much better ball reaction.
He just took the lead by 2 with that shot right there.
That was actually a great start from Collins, who had a turkey to start with the first 3. Jurek a 2-pin lead. His TV return. The TV debut for a fired-up Chris Collins. We'll have much more coming your way from the Albany area next. It's brought to you by Denny's. We're cooking now. By Ace, the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. By BowlersParadise.com, the official online retailer of the Professional Bowlers Association. Log on today and win a free ball. And by Dexter, where you can play with the pros. Enter to win at DexterShoe.com. The Albany area host to the first ever PBA event in our history. 1959 at Shays Academy. Wrong foot Lou Campy won that one. We'll see who takes home a title here in 2005. Welcome back, Dave Ryan, Randy Pierce, and our entire crew. Live coverage continues here on ESPN of the Denny's PBA Tour. It's the last event of the first half of our season. Randy, interesting field here. 2 of our bowlers have reached the PBA Tour exempt status by winning at the Tour Trials, doing well there. Also won in the regionals in Jack Jurek. And then you have Mike Scroggins, who has himself a 2-year exemption after winning at the Masters this year.
Yeah, and this is exactly what the new PBA wanted, to create different avenues to get out on the big tour. But I like the road Mike Scroggins is taking. He's winning. That's how he's getting or keeping his exemption. Here's Mike Scroggins about 5 weeks ago when he won the Masters, taking down Norm Duke and cashing the biggest paycheck in his entire career, $100,000. And then last week, the struggles, missing not 1, but 2 single pin spares. But you know what? I think we have to give credit where credit's due. Mike Scroggins led this event throughout qualifying. No other left-hander made it to match play. He's leading the tour in money and leading the tour in average.
Yeah, now despite those troubles last week in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, he says he's the most confident he has ever been in his career, and anytime he takes the lanes, he can win. Well, he's already got that Masters title, and a chance for another here today in Albany. We'll see how that works out for left-hander Mike Scroggins, who has his family watching for the first time in person. And the second semifinal against Mike Wolfe. And soon the first here, Collins and Jurek. Jack taking the lead at the end of the first segment of bowling here prior to our first commercial break. 36-year-old Chris Collins. First ever TV show.
Yeah, right there, baby, right there.
That's a little bit of late help, and he will gladly take on number 9.
great break here, especially when you're trailing by 2 and your opponent's working on a 3-bagger. Gets the late kick right there on the 9-pin. And again, Chris Collins, very impressive. Out of commercial break, gets up and makes a great shot.
Never easy. Grew up in a bowling center. His grandparents and parents helped run several in the Fayetteville, North Carolina area. Perfect shot, 60 feet to success for Chris Collins, who's engaging the fans with some high fives, including his twin brother Chip.
Yeah, I was going to say, just gave Chip a high five there.
It was fun to watch Chip during our opening introduction rehearsal today. He was as excited as his brother was. There's Chip, twin brother of Chris, and Chip was able to give us all the information we needed on his brother. They were inseparable when they were younger. He said that is way high. Look out through the nose, and a split for Jack Jurek.
You know, you talked about, David, how the lanes break down, and this. Well, that's the players breaking them down in practice. You know, it's up to them how they want the lanes to play. You know, sometimes we see guys throwing sanded balls. Sometimes we see guys throwing plastic balls to create holes. And apparently, Jack never really figured this right lane out.
His parents watching here from Buffalo. Christmas Day, 51 bowlers try to stuff their stockings with an exemption to the 2006-07 Denny's PBA Tour season. The final frame presented by Denny's PBA Tour on ESPN Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. So that's next week. A special event coming your day on Christmas Day. Coming off the open. Great adjustment, different lane for Jack Jurek.
See, he's locked into that lane. Now it's all a question of what he can do on the right lane. He's only got one more shot on that right lane. He's got a max score of 235. Right now, Chris Collins is in the high 220s.
So, yes, the debut bowlers have gone to the title match. However, they've all lost in the title match. Bill O'Neill this year in Omaha. Mike Machuga, Chris Loschetter last year at the Worlds, and Patrick Allen, Liz Johnson, Tommy Jones in Grand Rapids, and Jim Pratt in Indianapolis. All last year, all made the finals, but all didn't win. Maybe it's different for Collins today.
Come on.
Boy, he's just bowled a flawless game right now. Again, the messenger comes in front of the 10. Check this out. I mean, you can't help but being impressed with his performance. Say, here comes the head pin right in front of the 10. Again, a spare here. He'll still lead by 22.
Open frame of the 7 for Jurek, just devastating. There's the 10 pin. Great family of athletes the Collins come from. His dad, Ronnie, played basketball for Frank McGuire. A 6'4" center. Imagine that back in the day. In the 60s at South Carolina. Max numbers. You see it.
I was a 6'2" forward in school.
In the 60s?
Well, no, it was in the 70s.
His uncle, Junior Edge, played for Vince Lombardi and the Green Bay Packers. He was a quarterback in North Carolina. Back up to Bart Starr.
Look out.
Yeah, right there. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go now. Come on.
Twin brother Chip loves it, and Chris Collins is on a roll.
Take a look at the form of Chris Collins. Look at how nice and steady he is right here. Nice and upright, shoulder high backswing. Hits the foul line. Beautiful follow through. Pretty simplistic game, but he creates a lot of roll, a lot of revs. And that ball came back from nowhere. Right now, he's in the ground.
Does it? He's not on this match point stretch run.
Absolutely. He went back to that other ball, and he just struck on the lane he needed the strike on. So the scenario is simple. Jack Jurek with 2 in the 10th and good count will force Chris Collins to strike the first ball in the 10th and 9 spare to advance.
Big trouble, of course, for Jurek, right lane at the open. That was in the 7th that really hurt him, but can he come back with the question? That's the ball actually wanted on that lane for sure.
Yeah, but this is the one he's got to have. This next shot right here. Because that'll force Chris Collins to get the first one. 2 more. Chris Collins has to go strike 9 spare to win.
Jack Jurek, known as one of the really nice guys on this PBA Tour. Imagine 20 events, Central Region, driving all over the place. More than 20,000 miles on his Chevy van. He would take trips of 650 miles or more to get to his site. He did win 4 regionals and became one of 7 regional champs to earn an exemption this season. But he said the long road, literally. At times, he just wanted to quit.
You know, the guy's 42 years old. Talk about, you know, for the love of the sport. Jack felt that his life was still incomplete. Had to get back there.
And tie, but nice.
Big time hit there.
4-bagger. Try to overcome that open frame in the 7th.
Said he got a lot of help this week from Tommy Baker and Brad Angelo, all from Buffalo. Guys room together, hang out on tour. They're inseparable, but the information they got from them was invaluable, and it all had to do with equipment.
And saying, hey, how you bowled, how the lanes are active Friday will be different than today. Reminding them, TV lights can change the oil. 9-pin.
Well, Jack did pretty much all he could do. Now the situation is simple. Chris Collins needs to strike on the first ball and get at least 8 spare to advance. If he doesn't strike on the first ball, Jack Jurek will win this match.
His parents, Jerry and Eileen, his longtime girlfriend, 18 years Sue, watching Jack Jurek, hoping after all this time he can survive, play one more match for a championship. Strike at 9. There's a strike.
8 spare, 9 spare, or a strike. Chris Collins is going to bowl for his first ever PBA title. And talk about pure. Watch this. Bam. Ball splits the 8 and 9 in half.
Clears the deck in style. Saw his wife's reaction a moment ago. She was tearing up during the introductions today. It was very emotional all around for these 2 bowlers. Jurek's long wait. Collins' first ever TV appearance. His twin brother, Chip.
That was awesome.
One more, man.
Gives him the most emphatic high 10 of their lives, and he's through to the final. Talk about puring back-to-back balls there, Randy. Impressive. Big-time shots. And a long wait for Jurek will continue, but he did make TV again.
All right, we got the 2. We got 2. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about right there. One more. One more, baby. One more.
Chip told us
Great ball,
that
man.
those
Great
2
ball.
were
That was
absolutely
great.
inseparable growing up.
Oh, man.
Chip now a police detective in Fayetteville, North Carolina, also a PBA member and an avid bowler. And he is here to watch his twin brother. We'll be able to watch some great shots. Mika Koivuniemen, Chris Loschetter, the skills challenge. It's on the way from Albany, New York. Thanks to a 243-234 win in the first semifinal, Chris Collins in his first ever TV show is to the championship round to take on the winner of the Mike and Mike match, Scroggins and Wolfe, which comes up our next semifinal. First, let's get some skills on. A skills challenge match for this week. This week's Denny's PBA Tour Skills Challenge round of 16 match, Mika Koivuniemen against Chris Loschetter. Major Mika has won 6 Denny's PBA Tour titles. Now the first shot, towel thrown ball, the highest count will earn the strike. First to 3 strikes wins the match. Off to the round of 8.
Out there.
That is a 6-pin count for Major Mika.
That's my only chance.
I think he did pretty well just hitting the head pin.
Second place last year for Loschetter to Patrick Allen at the World Championships.
Pretty, but hopefully it's as effective. This is going to go about 5 miles an hour. Hopefully we can get lucky.
Expecting slow ball speed here, Randy.
And he was right. That's not pretty.
Oof.
Come on.
No, he won't get it. And the first strike in the quest to get 3 to win the match for Mika.
I got it.
Backwards through the legs. Can he get to the 10-pin?
And don't try this at home. I did, and I pulled a groin. I was out for 6 months.
Oh.
I like the hook there. Good angle from our crew to show how the ball reacts, but it does miss the 10-pin.
Well, we're just going to use a pool cue here. I'm going to put it in the thumb hole and try to push it down the lane and knock down all 10 pins.
It's like a cross between bowling and shuffleboard.
Let's see what Chris has got here. He's got a chance to earn a strike and tie the match up.
A lot.
Doesn't quite hook enough for him. He does get 7 pins.
I got a chance.
Mika ought to be really good at this from his curling experience in Finland.
You need to put the weight block in the right spots here, sorry.
It could be a big sport over there. 7 makes it a tie for this shot.
Oh.
Gets any more.
Hit it.
Oh, take that.
Like that, 8 pins and a strike. 2 strikes to none. 1 more and he wins the match.
Wow. 2 strikes for Mika Koivuniemi.
I thought this was a skills challenge, not luck challenge.
Whatever it takes to win, buddy.
Yeah, Mika really lucked out here. This ball looked like it was almost going in the gutter. Somehow manages to get 8.
Now a trick shot for Mika. The water bottles have to be 10 boards apart. He's got to put it between the bottles and try to strike down lane. What do you think, Randy? This is a tough shot.
So you need to throw between those 2 bottles and strike, and there's just over board room between those bottles.
All right, what Mika said in finish was he's going to throw it between those 2 bottles and make a strike.
Give the guy a break. He's trying. How do you fit it between the bottles? Enough room? Yes.
Yes! Nicely done.
Hook it did, Mika. All 10 down to the pit for Mika
Luckily, we
Koivuniemi.
obviously don't have to reset the bottles.
And Loschetter's got to match it.
Gets it right between the 2 bottles of Finnish vodka.
I don't care.
Absolutely. They just
Shreds
have
the
to
rack.
board
And look
apart.
at that. That's called accuracy. That's why he's very skillful.
Man, that ball hooked a ton when it got through.
10.
Mika's giving a check. The official inspection. He's going to count every board.
Can only be 10 boards apart.
Okay, he approves.
Keep in mind the bowling ball is 8 boards wide. Gives you an inch on either side.
Little margin for error here. Chris Loschetter
Because I don't hit what I'm looking at.
has got to go through the 2 bottles without touching either and match Mika's strike, or this match is over. Oh! Caught the first bottle on the left. Pin count doesn't matter.
Spill on lane
That
8.
is it, ladies and gentlemen. Another hit
Indeed,
for Chris
partner.
Loschetter.
Mika Koivuniemi advances a 3-0 win over Chris Loschetter. He's off to the round of 8 in the skills challenge. January 8th coming up after the holiday break as we resume the PBA Tour. Second half of the season, Wiseman against Reyes. We can't wait to watch the wild Danny Wiseman. He's got ramps apparently with this skills challenge coming up, and we know about his crazy shirts, things he wears on TV. Watch what he does in the skills challenge. That is all on the way. How about Mike Scroggins? Maybe the player of the year. Got to be the leading candidate. He leads all the major stats right now. Only lefty to make match play in the round of 32 this week. He'll take on Mike Wolfe at our semifinal. Chris Collins in his TV debut is to the final of the Empire State Classic today here in Clifton Park, New York, near Albany. Parker Bowman III, the only 2-time winner of this event. Another lefty, Mike Scroggins, takes on Mike Wolfe, and they're joined by Randy right now.
Dave, it's the Mike and Mike show in the afternoon. And Mike Wolfe, I'll start with you first. You said that whenever you're on television, you prefer to bowl in the second semifinal to give the lanes a chance to settle down. How does your ball reaction look today?
Pretty good so far. A little jumpy, so we'll make the needed decisions and bowl a good game.
Okay, Mike, thanks. Good luck. Mike Scroggins still riding that wave, but I got to ask you this question. Last week, you missed not one but two single pin spares on television. What happened?
You know, I still can't. I still don't know what happened. You know, funny thing about that, the whole tournament I didn't miss any, and this tournament I haven't missed any. So I don't know. It's just a freaky deal.
All right, Mike. Thanks a lot. Good luck. Dave?
We'll see if he's able to overcome the freaky deal from last week. Well, the top seeds eliminated in other events here so far. First half of our Denny's PBA Tour season. Some pretty big names up there. How about Mike Scroggins? Can he change the trend and as the top seed go all the way to the title? It'll be his second of the year. And his boys are here to watch for the first time ever to see him bowl on the PBA Tour. Mike Wolfe gets us started with a great shot. A high flush strike to knock them all down.
Mike Wolfe with the heater to start.
From Amarillo, and there is the Scroggins family. His wife Melanie has not seen Mike bowl in person on the PBA Tour since '97. His boys Will and Ross have never seen him bowl until today in person on a PBA Tour event. And the first shot he throws in front of his family is a perfect strike. What a moment for his sons. Leading us to the Ace Hardware matchup.
Mike Scroggins averaging almost 4 pins a game higher than Mike Wolfe. But the big thing is the left to right situation. What kind of ball reactions Mike Wolfe going to have versus the lone lefty? Who will have the advantage in terms of ball reaction? Both players, seasoned pros, been on television enough times to fight through the early jitters. They're going to make good shots. It's a matter of who gets the best ball reaction.
Three pin for the lefty. We saw a moment ago, top 25 in every event this year. He said it was last night. He's just so confident. Feels like he's bowling the best he ever has in his long career. And the numbers, Randy, back it up. How about leading in every major category? Now, as Randy said in the interview, missed 2 of the 7 pins last week in Mechanicsburg, but here he's perfect all week long at Albany. And there's a big smile for the family. I'm not going to miss another one of those.
Yeah,
to back 7s last week.
You know, and if he does, you know who he's going to blame for that.
You.
Exactly.
Don't bring it up. Two totally different deliveries upon approach for these two. Look at how low Wolfe is when he releases. And really hurry and comes in light. Washout.
Yeah, and this is just a bad shot, and you heard Mike say it. This ball just kind of wiggles right there and never gets to the head pin.
1, 2, 4, 10. Trying to up the multi-pin spare number. Wolfe at open, but it's very early. Now getting back to Wolfe's low delivery point, how low he is. If you look at his road here to the TV show over Dale Traber and then Pete Weber. We won, of course, a couple weeks ago in Hammond, Indiana. And Patrick Healy Jr. in 5 games. Why does he come so low to the foul line when he delivers?
I mean, that's just a style, but I think the thing to watch is he gets real low, but all of a sudden those shoulders pull back. He gets much straighter at the foul line. Much straighter than he used to be when he used to hook it a lot.
That's a high shot as he tries to make his adjustment. Leaves the 4-pin.
Yeah, just not comfortable with his ball reaction. But, you know, he made a big swing change heading into the 2004 Tour Trials and really just went from a guy that was one-dimensional, just like to hook it, like to move in and bang on it and curve the whole lane, to a guy that really likes to go parallel with the lane now.
Spare comparison numbers, including the splits. Scroggins 7th, enjoying just a tremendous season. Leader in points, leader in money, leader in average. Right now for player of the year. All 10 down for Mike Scroggins. 234.93 average for him. Tony Ress, our stats man today, was knocked out in the round of 16. Tommy DeLutz Jr. coming back from the wrist surgery, missed all of last season, KO'd in the round of 8 in 6 games. Just amazing to think. We see the big numbers. Career high already for him after winning 100,000 in Milwaukee at the Masters, the first major of the season. Look out. Crosses over. And his family from Amarillo. Terrible. Will gladly take it.
Oh, man, that was a nice shot.
Well, actually, it wasn't a real nice shot there, Mike, and I know he was being facetious, but this one here is a result of what happened the last time he was on that left lane where he went light. This one's grabbed, and it's right immediately out of his hand, but the great break of catching a strike for a double.
Mike Wolfe told us last night, hey, I know I'm 15th in the PBA rankings, but I don't want to go back, even leave the chance of going back to tour trials. I want to earn my exemption by taking a title. With shots like that, he will. He's made a nice adjustment on that lane.
They switch balls, and this one doesn't go near as far to the right.
Sunday night, ESPN's double coverage weekend of the NFL football season continues. Brian Urlacher and the Bears try to stop Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons. Coverage starts with NFL Prime Time. Say it with me. Prime Time. Presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern. Falcons Bears also available. Sparkling high def on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator or satellite provider today.
We got to do that more often.
I think so. Love that show. Perfect shot for Mike Wolfe last night. Broncos beat the Bills on ESPN. Orchard Park. Great weekend for NFL football. Big day here for the PBA Tour.
Nice shot there by Mike Wolfe to catch a double and get himself back in the match. But speaking of high definition, you know, Mike Scroggins went out after he won the Masters and bought himself a 55-inch, $8,000 plasma TV.
Wow, that's treating yourself nicely. Takes the late trip gladly. And Mike said he was so happy to win that Masters tournament in Milwaukee, his first ever major. What a relief. 2-year exemption plus, of course, the 100,000. But just to be able now to relax and bowl. And yes, he made a big splash at the Masters, certainly. He's kind of snuck up on some people by taking the lead in all the major categories. And just like that, he is the front runner for Player of the Year.
I agree. And you know, you can say what you want. There's a lot of lefties that made the telecast the last month or so. This week, he was there all by himself. No other lefties in match play. And he led the qualifier by 100. And right now, he's struggling on that left lane. Oh, and by the way, guess which lane he gets to finish the 10th frame on? Left lane.
Left lane. Ball reaction, backside of the 41-foot scorpion pattern of double wood for lefties, the 3-9. It's the 6th of 8 weeks a lefty has made TV. It's been a good year for the Southpaws, including last week in Mechanicsburg. Patrick Allen, winner, takes care of the double wood. When they make finals against righties, as would be the case if Scroggins wins, lefties are 3-0. Scroggins in the Masters. Patrick Allen last week. Jason Couch in Chicago. We'll see if it happens. Second semifinal concludes when we return to Albany. The Empire State Classic on ESPN is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Pepsi, the official soft drink of bowling. And by Ace, the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. We're so glad to be back in the Albany area. Not here last year. Ryan Schaefer is actually the defending champ of this event. Won in 2003 in Latham, also in the Capital District. And they're going for that trophy. Empire State Classic here in Albany. It's Wolfe and Scroggins resuming the semifinal.
And I got to shout out a quick happy birthday to my friend Charlie Brock, who is 100 years old today from Lakeland, Florida. My buddy still bowls 2 leagues a week and watches the Denny's PBA Tour every Sunday.
How about that? High shot there for Wolfe from Albany, Indiana, near Louisville, Kentucky, right across the river and the border. And he's got a 4-pin.
And this was Mike Wolfe's chance to take the lead in this match with a strike in the 6th and 7th. Instead, he leaves a 4-pin. Look out.
Has it in his 6th frame. His career goals are to become a player of the year, to win 20 titles in his career. 1-1. He'll be the defending champ in Medford. Almost exactly a year to the day, as he was telling us last night, that he won his first ever title. Earl Anthony Classic. Beat Norm Duke in the finals. Beat Walter A. Williams Jr. in the semis. Late help. Oh, the paralyzer goes down.
This is the difference between Mike Wolfe of today and Mike Wolfe a couple years ago, where he can stay parallel to the lane. It really helps him on the fresh oil patterns, but he still has a heavy hand and heavy rolling bowling ball.
Scroggins works on a spare here. 7th frame. 21. Ooh, look out. It's the big 4.
Threw that a little bit too slow.
It's only been converted once on TV. Last year, Walter A. Williams Jr. in Atlanta.
You heard him say it, threw that one a little bit too slow. What happens when you bring your ball speed down? The ball overhooks in the back part of the lane.
4, 6, 7, 10. Oh, only gets 1, so a 7-pin count. Before the only pin to go down for Mike Scroggins, that could be deadly at this stage of the match.
See what he's doing on the left lane? Does not hit the 1-2 pocket yet on that lane. See what kind of adjustment he makes. 8th frame, he's still trailing by 4.
Up 4 pins at this point, actually. He had a 21-pin lead going to that last shot. Well, sure, on this lane he's okay, but the other is the big question. The left lane struggles for the lefty. Chance now for a double, and Wolfe to take the lead by 6 with a strike. Here are the max numbers. Mike did have a 300 game this week in Albany. 1 of 7. Bowlers to do that. Other finishers, bottom of your screen. Round of 32 on. There's a perfect shot from Mike Wolfe.
Yeah, that was a great shot. He's got a little locked in there on the right lane, made a great shot. Now takes the lead by 6. Can increase it to 16 with a strike here in the 9th. If he strikes on this ball, it does not matter what Mike Scroggins does in the 9th and 10th frame. He cannot shut out Mike Wolfe. Mike Wolfe has to have this one right here.
6th career TV appearance, Randy, for Mike Wolfe. And he told us last night that he really feels now he's got a confident layout. By that we mean not just the ball selection, but his ability to anticipate lane breakdown. Good help again.
He's got a good grasp of what equipment he should be using. He's got a good grasp of the way the bowling ball should be drilled for his game to make them roll the way he wants them to roll. And he's got a really good idea of how the lanes are going to break down and change.
Turkey for him, the all-important foundation 9th frame. Scroggins looks for a double here. Chance to reduce the deficit. 6 pins, 9th frame. It's a big shot. Just doesn't have a look. Gets some help, but the 7 will stand. He cannot find the pocket.
Yeah, and that's a great break there too, but I don't think it matters because when Mike Scroggins doesn't strike in that 9th frame, the best he can shoot now with a spare is 211, and I don't think that's going to be enough to beat Mike Wolfe.
Saw the family come from Amarillo, Texas. Wife Melanie, a physical therapist. Will and Ross are here. Look out, 7 again. He takes a good time. A little drama after a repair of him last week. The boys watching for the first time ever their father bowl on the PBA tour. That's got to be something. Their ball players back home and off for the Christmas break. Made a long trip from Texas.
That's cool. Your buddies get to see on TV.
Oh, man, they're going to be heroes when they head back to school after Christmas.
To have any chance, Mike Scroggins needs to throw a double in the 10th frame. Not finished history. This match is over.
Oh, man.
Just could never find that pocket.
Hey, never figured this pair out. And, you know, that's unusual. He had 15 minutes of practice. And he told me, he said, Randy, you know, the only problem I had this week was when the oil carried down too far and I couldn't get my ball to do what I wanted it to do. And that appears to be what has happened on the TV pair.
That whiffs as he tried to kick over 3-pin into the 7, and that'll do it for Mike Scroggins, who did have his family here. Little Maggie, by the way, 2.5-year-old daughter, is being watched by Melody's mom back home to round out the family. Unfortunately, his run will end here. Mike Wolfe will take on Chris Collins. Wolfe look for an exemption. His second title. Collins in his TVA debut will look for the same.
Beautiful. Beautiful shot right there. You know what? He keeps his emotions in check. He's going to go up against the guy who's never been in this situation before. Mike Wolfe has. He's going to take on Chris Collins, who's looking for his first title. You would have to think advantage Mike Wolfe, but I'll tell you what, I think the ball reaction that Chris Collins has is much better. And I think if Chris Collins can figure out a way to shut off his brain and just bowl, I think he's going to give Mike Wolfe all he wants.
By shut off his brain, we mean all the emotion and energy we saw from Collins in that first match. He's explosive. He describes himself as always being on edge. Well, yeah. Lots of energy there. See, we really have an interesting contrast emotionally between Wolfe and Collins. That's coming up in our final here from Albany.
It's kind of like a ferret on a double espresso.
Have you been watching Along Came Polly too much? That's a great movie, man. Ferret had a prominent role. Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston. Wolfe is through. Can he win his second ever title, clinch an exemption for next year, or will it be the emotional Chris Collins in his first ever TV show? Looks for his first title and an exemption. Both at one time came through tour trials. One is a champion next.
And now let's give away this limited edition PBA Tour Ready to Roll Wins the Ball signed by our 4 finalists. A 2-of-a-kind item. Well, actually, it's a 4-of-a-kind item. I think we gave away a couple yesterday. Very rare, anyway. All right. Let's see. I'm in trouble. I'm stalling because I didn't get my question before I came over. Let's see. You know what? You know, we work this side. Let's go to this side. Hey. Almost got run over. All right, let's see. You know, I just don't have a question.
I know the answer.
What's your name? Patrick, congratulations. Enjoy that. I just don't do well under pressure. I had to think of something. All right, championship match. It's going to be a great one. We got to get Chris Collins to show a little emotion next time, though. Just a little bit. And also, all you folks in the front row, hope you have insurance policies because interacting with with Chris might be dangerous. I'm not sure. But it's good, though. It's going to be a great match. Mike Wolfe, a great competitor. Chris Collins, his first telecast. Anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. Pick a favorite player, cheer on to victory.
Welcome back, everyone. The Collins clan is here from North Carolina. Many fans here in Albany. Collins Wolfe in the final of the Empire State Classic. To reach one of their semifinal matches. Mike Wolfe goes for a second title. Collins could win his first ever PBA Tour title today. Let's check out the Geico Championship recap, Randy.
Okay, Dave. Semifinal number 1, Jack Jurek striking out in the 10th frame to force Chris Collins to come through in the clutch, needing 2 strikes to advance. He beats Jack Jurek 243-234.
That was awesome.
And semifinal number 2, Mike Scroggins versus Mike Wolfe. Mike Scroggins running into all kinds of trouble, while Mike Wolfe looks lined up and ready to win his second tour title. He beats Mike Scroggins 236 for 187.
Our Geico Championship recap. Polar opposites emotionally. This will be interesting to see how it plays out. Collins is all sorts of fired up. We saw that in the recap. Wolfe, focused, determined. The final is underway, and true to form, Chris Collins is fired up. His wife, Julie, and twin brother Chip there on the left, watching closely. Chip told us they had about 8 phones going back and forth. When on the internet, they realized Friday that he was going to win the round of 8 and make it. Everyone calling in the Collins clan down there to wish congratulations. Meanwhile, Mike Wolfe looks awfully good and lined up, as you said.
Made a ball change, moved in a little bit. Mike Wolfe averaging 4 pins a game higher. Advantage of Mike Wolfe because he's been here before. He's won a PBA title. But I'll tell you what, Chris Collins looked awfully impressive in his first ever game under the hot lights of the Denny's PBA Tour, didn't he?
Made the big shot when he needed it. The one victory came last year, Earl Anthony Classic, and what a moment that was, really, Randy. Think back to it. You and I were there in Medford, Oregon, Lava Lanes. The PBA Tour resumes second half of the season, January 8th. Had to beat Norm Duke in the final, beat Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the semifinal. Walter Ray that day, an event named for Earl Anthony, was trying to tie the late great Earl Anthony's record of 41 career tour titles.
Yeah, and if, Mike Wolfe never wins another tournament, look who he had to beat to win, the, his only title. But there'll be more victories for that young man.
His first today for Collins. Oh, that's high.
Oh, not good.
Nearly crossed over, has the double wood 3-9 and the 10 to deal with. It's really the worst shot we've seen him throw all day.
Well, and I saw him do this in practice. It looks like he's lost this lane now. The adjustment is to either move out where Mike Wolfe is or move further left and open the lane up more, but I've watched him go high the last couple of shots on that right lane. And right now leaving himself with a very difficult split.
Failed to make one all week. Big moment in the final. Doesn't get it. First open of the day we've seen from Collins in the 2 matches. Now, always interesting to me to see how someone making their TV debut responds to adversity.
Well, I'm going to tell you that what he's feeling right now that he didn't feel, say, the last half of the first match. He's feeling a lot of pressure. His opponent gets off to a really quick start and throws a double, and he's already in a hole down 22 pins after 2 frames.
Looks like another day at the office for Wolfe. He is calm. And he told us that right before the TV show today. Sure, I'm relaxed. I'm fine. Just polling to me. Collins is fiery.
Very close.
Good shot there, and you can see that that ball got a little bit further right than the shot on the right lane. Mike Wolfe going with 2 different bowling balls, a much earlier rolling, more aggressive ball in the right lane, something that's a little more skid, flippy on the left lane. Look out.
God almighty.
Way to split on a high shot. Has the 4-pin to deal with. That could have been a lot worse for Mike Wolfe.
Yeah, that was just a bad shot. Pulled left. He's lucky he only left the 4-pin. Watch this. Left out of his hand. He knows it. He's like, oh, no. Help. And he gets it. Look out. Missed it.
Wow. Just glances the side of the pin. He said, yeah, I stayed clean, but barely. That would have made things very interesting because Collins had the early open in the 2nd frame.
I'm not sure the ball hit that pin. I think the wind from the speed going by knocked it over.
That's some dicey moments with single pin conversions here on the show the last 2 weeks.
He slipped at the foul line. Watch this, just barely catches it.
That was close. Not a good shot either, but how about the help? On a ball right through the nose, going way high. He gets a late trip.
asked Mike Wolfe how the carry was in this building before we went on the air, and he said, my carry stinks. Of course, he was just joking, but watch this. Talk about a huge break to maintain his lead. This could have been 4, 5, or 6. Instead, it's 10.
Watch him look away, Randy. He didn't want to see what happened. Well, I guess it was a break, indeed, for Mike Wolfe. After that strike in the third, Collins right back in it. 21-pin lead for Mike Wolfe, going for a title. Our entire field here at the Empire State Classic, 5 career titles combined. 3 for Mike Scroggins. He has been knocked out. 1 for Jack Jurek, 1 for Mike Wolfe. 1 major, that was from Scroggins this year at the USBC Masters in Milwaukee. Dave Lyon, Randy Peterson, our entire crew. It's the championship match. .21-pin lead for that guy, Mike Wolfe, going for his second title. Collins, a fiery right-hander from North Carolina, works on a strike. He'll be down by 11. It is.
Yeah, that was the telling shot, too, to see what he was going to do on that right lane after the open frame. Coming out of commercial break, Chris Collins responds. And right now, it was within 1 strike of making this a 1-pin match.
First TV appearance at 34 career PBA events. The guy who describes himself as always on edge is on the verge of winning a title. Good one there.
Yeah!
And the emotion returns.
Yeah! Let's go, man! Come on!
Here comes some high 10s all around.
What I'm talking about.
Including his twin brother.
Just a great shot here. You can see it when the ball gets out to that spot around the second arrow, or just right of it. And watch this. He just loves this.
Yeah! Let's go, man! Come on! Let's go!
1-pin match.
Mike Wolfe has an answer. Now 10 down the pit for him. As he clears the deck. 11-pin lead for him. Chance to go up 21 with a turkey here in the 6th frame.
Just took big advantage of that huge break he just got in the 4th frame when he went through the nose and caved them all in. Follows up with a really good shot in the 5th frame, and all of a sudden he goes back up. Let's see what he does here on this left lane.
Boy, what a break that was. Late hit on the 6th pin. Get turned away in disgust.
Wow. Hey, Dave, how good was that shot? You see the split screen there. His head didn't even move. His arm went through it so smooth and clean. His body position was just still. If that wasn't 10 back, nothing would be. Perfect shot thrown by Mike Wolfe.
So smooth on delivery, you're right. Love to watch that approach. Just textbook. The roommate of Chris Barnes. Chris, by the way, overcoming the back injury. Did not bowl again this week in Albany. Should return January 8th in Medford, Oregon, when we resume our Denny's PBA to a regular event schedule. We wish Chris the best, coming back from the back problems. Tie. Julie sees the 9-pin stand for her husband.
This is his trouble lane, and this is a lane that he's going to have to finish the game on. You know, he told us that he likes to have his ball stay in the oil as Julie reacts to another 9-pin. He likes to watch his ball sit in the oil as long as possible and just kind of make that. Guys are making those single pins. Oh, quite adventurous last couple of weeks.
That was dramatic.
Come on, look alive.
Let's check in with our on-the-road schedule. We're going back to Lava Lanes, Medford, Oregon, to resume the second half of our season. Earl Anthony Medford Classic. Pro-Ams, you see them January 4th and 7th. Lava Lanes in Medford. Log on PBA.com for more information there. That's all coming up. The second half of our season. There's Mike Wolfe, the defending champion in Medford. Collins is perfect.
All right, we're back. Let's go.
he's doing what he should do now. I mean, he goes in a little high, leaves a 9 pin, comes back with a strike. He's got to figure out that right lane and figure it out now because Mike Wolfe has a commanding 22-pin lead. With another strike, it'll be 32.
Have we heard him say a word, any kind of emotion at all? He said a couple words to you in the interview. That was about it. He's focused. And he's got a big lead.
Wow. But see, right now, Mike Wolfe's doing what you should do. He's not hyping it up. Well, let me show you what this guy has done and why he is on the verge of winning his second career title. Look over here where his arm's all bent up, and right here it's nice and straight. And this is the change on the right side of what he's made that's allowed him to go much straighter. Again, straighter here, more of a curve here. The curved arm is going to create a lot more hook. That's what made it extremely difficult for Mike Wolfe to go straight or parallel to the boards. You know, he said, Randy, Walter Ray Williams Jr., Norm Duke, a lot of these guys go straight. And I can't go straight. I had to make a change, and here he is now.
Thanks for Bobby Becker, and has it. 5 in a row, 8th frame. And a 42-pin lead now for Mike Wolfe as the lead balloons. He's inching closer to the tour title. You wouldn't know if this was a practice round or he's on the verge of a championship.
See, but I like that. Hype it up after you win, because you know what? You don't want anything other than the job at hand to get into the computer. You don't want anything confusing your mind or your brain saying, you know, let's hoop it up, let's do this, let's do that. Mike Wolfe is doing exactly what Mike Wolfe needs to do, and that's nothing. Just throw it.
Perfect shot for Collins, but he's in a huge hole. Can he come back with the question? A reminder, the best place to buy for PBA fan on your holiday shopping list online at PBA.com. New items now available at PBA store include 4 different fleeces along with new hoodies and hats. Between now and the end of the year, the PBA offering free shipping on orders of $50 or more, Randy. Be sure to get that going. Check it out at PBA.com.
And Dave, let me just say this. If Chris Collins doesn't strike on this ball, he can't win.
Chance for the turkey. Foundation frame. Gotta have it. Just not. It's a 2-pin.
This match is all but over. I mean, Mike Wolfe just needs to fill frames in 9th and 10th with marks of any kind, because the best Chris Collins is going to be able to shoot with a spare here is going to be 226. Mike Wolfe already in the 240s.
And that one misses. Wow, an open frame so late. And it is all but over now for Mike Wolfe, who won his first career title last year in Medford on the bench, watching, and pretty much does the same thing with a late open. Look at that advantage. It's huge.
Mark here, and this title is Mike Wolfe's. Beautiful shot.
How's it going?
Done. Finished. History. Mike Wolfe wins his second Denny's PBA Tour title, Dave.
With a 6-bagger and counting. He is exempt for all of next year. He'll take home the $40,000 of valuable points. He told us, yeah, someday I'd love to win 20 titles when I'm done. Now he's up to 2. Wait will continue for Chris Collins. He finished 7th in the Tour Trials this year, earned his exemption, but it's been a great run for him this week.
Chris Collins has a lot to be proud of, and he's going to just build on this and mentally get that much better. And quite honestly, I think the only thing that's ever held Chris Collins back is all from the neck up. Once he gets his emotions intact and starts thinking the right thoughts out here, he's got the physical attributes. All he's got to do now is turn it around mentally, and this can only help him.
Winning 10 there, late for Mike Wolfe in the match, but it's been clinched already. His second TV show, he also made the television appearance in Tulsa, the season opener, lost to Westmont in the semis. 36-209, October 30th, but this time he'll leave the bright lights of television a champion again. That's right, Mike, number 2.
It's like he just made par playing golf with his buddies, you know? It's like no big deal.
And making par for me is a big deal, though.
Actually, for you, yeah, it is.
Mr. Near Scratch. Collins is about a 3 handicap.
Playing with Chris. He's a good player.
Good bowler. Great tennis player. He and his brother Chip were All-American tennis players at Methodist College in Fayetteville, North Carolina in the early 90s. Chip says gonna have to wait.
Hey, what are you going to do? His opponent shot 268 at him.
Identical twins. Boy, he had a great time, though, just being around the bowling center. They got here yesterday from North Carolina. Watch the debut for Chris in person.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Soaks up the moment. Wolfe is still as calm as can be.
That's just how it appears on the outside. The inside, I guarantee he's right.
He's got to be enjoying it.
Let's give him some love to the crowd. Good for him. He deserves it. Played great this week.
And they've been very supportive. His wife, Julie, coming from North Carolina. Twin brother, his cousin have made the trip as well. But the moment belongs to that man, Mike Wolfe. 268, 214 the final. It's his second title. He's exempt for all next year. Takes home $40K and valuable tour points. We're back after this. The Empire State Classic on ESPN is brought to you by the United States Bowling Congress, ensuring the integrity and protecting the future of the sport of bowling. Bowl with us. By Denny's, we're cooking now. By Ace, the official hardware store of the PBA. Ace, the helpful place. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Mike Wolfe has his second career Denny's Tour PBA title, as he earns an exemption for next year and the $40,000 as well, plus valuable points. Semi-final numbers. We recap the matches going on today. Jack Jurek and Collins. Chris Collins able to take it in his TV debut, and was he ever fired up? The fans certainly love to watch that. Jack Jurek making his TV return, first time since '98. Second semifinal is Mike Scroggins, who had a lot of trouble on that left lane against Mike Wolfe, the right-hander from the Albany, Indiana, bidding for his second title. And Mike Wolfe able to take it in the Battle of the Mikes. Championship match, it was Mike Wolfe taking control. And although he didn't show the emotion, Chris Collins, today, maybe he was excited. We'll find out in a moment when we talk to Mike Wolfe. He did take his second title home as he wins it today here in Albany. And Randy Peterson joined now by Chris Collins.
Thanks, David. Chris, you know, you've got a lot to be proud of today. Tell us about your first ever experience on television.
Well, it was a lot better than I expected, Randy. The fans were behind me. All the people over here, they were great. I've got my beautiful wife with me, my brother, my cousin, the owners, everybody was behind me. It was so much more than I expected. You know, being on TV for the first time, it's really hard to build a fan base, but guys, I love all of y'all. I'll see you next year.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, so Mike Wolfe, maybe not the emotion that Chris showed, and certainly didn't have the fans as much behind you. But you said a moment ago from the seventh frame on, you were a little bit nervous and having trouble getting the breathing going and the heart rate. How do you feel now that you've got that second title under your belt?
Oh, it's still, it's such a great feeling. All the fans here were great all week. Absolute awesome time. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah, the sixth or seventh frame, I almost had to take a re-rack because I couldn't breathe. But the easiest way is just get up there and throw it. And you know, his emotion was he was a little too comfortable for my liking. That he was going to give a run for it, and I had to step up and do a job.
Is that calm demeanor part of your game, part of your attack?
Well, every time I try to get excited and get emotional, I split or I do something stupid. So it's just better just to let it go and go with the flow.
You told us last night how important that exemption is. The 40,000 is great. The points are great. But now you're comfortable. You've got that whole year under your belt. How important is that for you?
Definitely the biggest key is just it's one more thing you don't have to look at. You don't have to worry about your exemption. The last title, Kirk informed me of the tournament champions, which I never even dreamed of. And so now the way the rolling list goes, it's about 2 more years on the tournament champions. So that's another big asset. And keep rolling with it.
So with the 40,000, any special Christmas gifts coming up here? Who's on the list and who's going to benefit the most?
Definitely Abby, girlfriend Abby back home, and mom and dad. Walt Freeman, good friend of mine, that we'll definitely have something nice.
What are the big plans then for the holiday break for you? Will you take on a lot of practice time to get ready for the second half in Medford?
We're definitely with the new technology we're seeing. Definitely going to work on a few things over the break. Probably not the first week, but probably the second week we'll hit it pretty hard.
All right, and in terms of just your first half of the season now, you've made 2 TV shows. You have your first title of the season. How would you evaluate the first half?
Still room for improvement, but we'll take it as it goes, and it's definitely a good feeling going into the break.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations. Mike Wolfe, everyone, is a champion again on the PBA Tour as he wins today over Chris Collins. Christmas Day, it's next week. 51 bowlers trying to stuff their stocking in exemption for the 06-07 season. The final frame presented by Denny's PBA Tour on ESPN Sunday at 1 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Battle Rapid from Albany, New York today. Mike Wolfe takes it. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For the entire crew, my partner Randy Peterson, it's Dave Ryan reminding you, Pro Billiards next. Mike Wolfe wins in New York.